I'm Taryn.
And I'm Ange, and we are the two co-founders of the Atelier Collective. We're here at the Fairmont Royal York in downtown Toronto, and we've been interviewing inspirational women who are changing the game.
We're so excited to share this with you for International Women's Day as we raise the tide for all ambitious women in business and impact the next generation of women.
Hi everyone, we are so excited to be here with Sangita Patel.
I'm excited.
So Sangita was our host of our 2019 June conference, and we're so happy to have her here for our International Women's Day series. So Sangita is a reporter from ET Canada, host of HGTV's Home to Win.
Yes.
CoverGirl spokesperson.
Yes.
Fitness enthusiast.
Yes.
And
Keep it coming. What else am I doing?
mother to two daughters.
Yes. That's right. I have two kids, not one.
So Sangita is a powerhouse. And thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me. It's so good to see you guys. And that event was absolutely amazing, what you did in creating that platform for so many women. So I still hear about it to this day. So congratulations to you and what you're doing as well. No, it's true. It's true.
Just a quick question to start things off. So you began your career as an engineer, and then you turned into a media personality. So you're an incredible example of someone who completely did a career pivot. What was that moment where you decided to make the change, and what drove you there?
How long do we have?
I don't know. Let's get some wine.
That's exactly what we need. You know what? Everything was driven by passion. I'll be honest. That's where it really lives for me. I loved math and science, and I loved journalism at the same time. I was exposed to both areas. And my dad kind of sat me down and said, well, where do you think you're going to have a better life? Is it going to be engineering? Will it be journalism? And I remember my uncle used to say to me, well, why do you want to do engineering? I go, I really don't know anything about engineering. I just know it's about math and science. And he goes, but that's not really where women go. They don't go to engineering. And I think that lit a fire under me, and this is what I want to do now. I had no idea what it was, but I knew it involved math and science. So I went to engineering program and I picked electrical, which was, I knew there was no women in electrical. There was that reason I went into it. I had no idea what it was again. And I got a scholarship in both programs in the first year. So then that was even a challenge. And so it made sense to go into engineering just because I had this foundation where I was guaranteed a job at the end of the day. And that's what happened. So I graduated as an engineer, got my PN, just so I was showing my finger. I still wear my ring to remind me.
What does this mean?
This is what you get when you're a professional engineer. So you work for 5 years, you know, when you sign your passport, only doctors and engineers were allowed to sign it. Many years ago. Now everyone can sign it, but in those days, this ring you needed in order to do that. So I could still work as an engineer if I wanted to. Not that I want to anymore, but I did that. I worked for 5 years as an engineer, and at nighttime I worked as a reporter for a lifestyle channel, and so I lived my passion. I had two different lives. And then I know it was different hats, definitely, but I loved it. It was great to live my passion and also make money at the same time. And then the Weather Network picked me up, which was a mix of science and also television. And so that's where everything grew. And I'm one of those people who just kind of says, sure, why not? Let's try it. Let's see what happens, right? And so from engineering to entertainment, I never thought that would happen. And there's so much stuff in the middle of it. And that's kind of what made me grow into the person I am now.
Wow, what a great attitude to have, just to have that open-minded look at your career, and you weren't defined by anything, but you just kind of went with it and followed that fire inside of you. That's incredible.
Yeah, why not try something new, right?
I love that, and I feel like so many women are multi-passionate as well, which obviously is something that you exude. So So turning the tables a little bit, I'd love to chat about your two little girls that you have. And I think such an important topic for International Women's Day in general, and something that we talk about all the time on our platform, is impacting the next generation of women. As a mom of two girls, what kind of values are you looking to instill in them in a world that is so different than the one that, you know, we all grew up in?
You know, that's a really good question because it's very difficult once you get into the realm of actually being a parent. You're like, I want my child to do this and this and this, and none of that works. It's more following what they want. What's their passion? What do they want to do? But the most important thing for me is to be able to let them know they can do anything, and I want them to have the confidence to be able to do anything. Especially as a woman of being South Asian, I didn't have that kind of exposure on television or magazines. I didn't see myself being out there, my skin tone, and I want that for my kids to know that it's okay. It doesn't matter what skin tone you are. You can do whatever you want. If you want to be prime minister, go for it. So that's the messaging. I think when we were younger, my parents were like, well, you should be a doctor, you should be an engineer, you should be, now it's more of like, what do you want to do? Because it's changing. Even being a doctor now, it could be a whole different realm of different things you can do, and robotics, all of that. So for me, it's the ability to know that they can, as long as they work hard. And that's something that's difficult to teach kids, the understanding of working hard. We saw our parents, like my parents, first generation immigrants to Canada, I saw them working hard. I saw my mom, just thinking about it makes me emotional because she used to go to work, come, do everything at home, and raising 4 kids. My kids don't get to see that. They have the privilege now to get whatever they want, really. So it's really instilling in that if you want to succeed, you got to work hard. So I think that's really important for my kids.
I think that's so beautiful, and to have you as a role model for them, someone that is such a hard worker, and you are obviously in the spotlight, and you put so much of your life online and behind cameras and that kind of thing, and for them to see and look up to you, a person who put so much of their heart and soul into everything, is just so, it's incredible for them growing up.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot.
So you are in the limelight every day, and you interview people who are in the limelight every day as well. So what have you taken from interviewing and learning from others that has helped shape you as a strong woman?
I think, when I talked about being an engineer or going into journalism and living the passion for me at the end of the day, I've learned recently, is telling other people's stories, sharing their stories. If I can have that opportunity to do that, then I'm doing what I absolutely love to do. Yeah. And I think in the last 3 years, things have really shifted for women, especially with the Me Too movement and the Time's Up movement. But I find that in the last 6-7 months, people are really opening about mental health and how they're dealing with it. And we're talking about how social media is affecting us. So those are the conversations I feel are going to be very strong. I think people are ready for real talk. Before it was about, okay, we can't really talk about that. That's not your brand. That's not where you want to go. And I can say that for the last 4 or 5 interviews I've done, we've been talking about mental health. We've been talking about abuse in their relationships, and everyone's been really open about it. So I need to be in that position where I can tell your story with truth. And so that's what I want to do for the rest of my life.
I've decided what I want. We're on board with that. I want you to tell all the stories.
Yeah. And then the way it affects other people too. And men are sharing, women are sharing, and I think we're ready for it. And I think even with the Trump era, I don't want to bring politics into this. I think that even though I think the positivity from that has been the ability for us to share those stories.
Absolutely.
And the world needs so much of that
we
right
do.
now.
Yeah, we need that connection. And I think it's driven us to get closer now and be open about it and not be ashamed of what we've gone through.
And I love that. I know that so much of your platform is really about spreading kindness as well, which is something that, we so resonate with in our community as well. I think it's just something that the world just absolutely craves and needs more of. And
I agree with you. It's so easy. It's easy to be kind. I'm not sure why makes people make it difficult. It's just be nice.
Exactly.
It's not hard.
Oh, that's such a beautiful way of looking at people and looking at the world, and everyone's capable of it, right? It's not something that costs any money, right?
Doesn't, yeah.
So who is on your wish list to interview? Because you have interviewed some of the most incredible people on the planet. I would love to know who you would love to sit down
Brad Pitt. I met him once, and that was like 15 years ago, 13 years ago, and I need to sit down with him again. Oprah Winfrey, I've been trying to get her for the last few years just to get a hug from her to meet her. I find people very fascinating that are very what's the right, not closed, but they have a story behind them. Like, I would love to sit down with Tiger Woods.
Okay.
I find him so fascinating, the way he plays his game, the way he structures his life. I want to talk to him as well. I know it's a crazy pivot, but I would love to talk to him as well. But Oprah would be great. I would love to meet Brad Pitt again. But there's so many great stars out there. But I think also Malala Yousafzai, I would love to sit down and talk to her about her experiences. So it's all of that too. I mean like Elon Musk. I talked to May Musk. Now I want to talk to Elon Musk and just see how his brain works and why is he a genius. So it's there's a lot of people I would love to interview. And it could be. I even interviewed my next door neighbor. They're new, and I said to get to them. I know. We're like, I'm interviewing them. I'm using my reporter voice. What am I doing? Right? It's just like me digging into information about them to find out who they are. Right? So it could be anyone, and I think one of the things I live by, my mantra every day is to be able to talk to someone new every single day. You'll learn something new every day. So when you ask me who do I want to interview, it could be someone just walking down the street, just get to know them.
Oh, that's amazing.
Well,
we'll work on Oprah.
I know.
Oprah and Malala on our list, and then we'll bring you back.
Get those too, Oh, Oprah would be great. But the reason for Oprah isn't because she is this incredible woman that everyone thinks is God. It's because I saw her myself through her when I was watching television. She was my representation. So this is not just now. It was when I was a kid. I'm like, she's similar to my skin tone, right? She was the person I looked up to.
And do you have any favorites that you've interviewed up until this point that you just absolutely love and reflect back and say, did that really happen?
The person I look up to is Dwayne Johnson.
Oh, that's right.
I used to watch him when he was in WWF and then into WWE, and the reason was the way he created his life. Like, just to see him. The reason he calls his company $7 Production is at one point in his life he only had $7, and look where he is now. The way he works hard, the way he stays fit, the way he's with his family, the way he is with people in general. Like, he knows who I am. He knows what's on my Twitter. Like, he's just an incredible guy, and I love sitting down with him. Anytime I get to see him, it's like we're just friends and we're talking. He actually just messaged me the other day. So, and I just said, he just lost his father, and he messaged back and he goes, "Know how hard this is, really." And so, he's just that amazing. This is Dwayne Johnson, and I'm here, and he's able to do that. So he takes the time to get to know people. So I would say Dwayne.
Wow. Oh, I love that.
And he treats women so well, right? Like, he always talks about his mom all the time. So.
Oh, I love that.
He's great.
Well, thank you so much for being here with us today. It's always so great to connect with you.
You
chat.
too. Yeah.
And we need to do it more often.
Of course, yes. And International Women's Day, so this is great that you're doing this as well. So thank you.
Thank you so much. And so for our audience who doesn't follow you yet on Instagram, where can they find you on social?
Okay, so my Instagram is Sangita.Patel. Twitter is Sangita_Patel. And my website is thisissangitapatel.com. And I have a YouTube page called Sangita Patel.
Google Sangita Patel, you will find her in all the places.
Or sangria. I'm under that as well.